Gandhi Bazaar is one of the most iconic places of South Bengaluru. It is full of tradition, full of images that are just so quintessentially Bengaluru, so quintessentially South India. The flowers here, flower sellers, and over there, one of the oldest restaurants and certainly one of the most famous, Vidyarthi Bhavan. It's been in existence since 1943. It's been open since then. Very little has it actually been, very few times has it been closed, but this is the COVID era and our temperature being checked before we are let into this building. This is the era of COVID. This building which actually houses this restaurant, Vidyarthi Bhavan, which has been in existence since 1943. Now, the government has said that from the 8th, restaurants can open. Right now, of course, it's only parcel. Nobody can eat inside, which is why you see tables have been kind of stored away. The chairs have been on the tables. It's all stored away. Otherwise, the popularity of this place, it's crowded, it's full, it's bustling. But now, with only parcel, we have these tables actually packed away. Joining us, Arun Adiga, the owner of Vidyarthi Bhavan. Thanks for joining us here today. The world is changing. This is a beautifully traditional part of Bengaluru. Everybody wants to come here to eat. What kind of changes are you going to be making when restaurants can open once again? Is it clear to you what is needed?
No, it's still not yet clear.
Okay.
We are only clear about the start date, which is they have announced it as 8th June.
Yes.
And we have been waiting for the guidelines,
Yes.
which is yet to come from the government side.
Okay.
Unless proper guidelines are announced, we may not be able to freeze on our plans of how to serve.
Okay. Because you still don't know exactly what the
Exactly.
SOPs are really. Okay.
Exactly, because unlike any grocery shop or a provision store, restaurant requires time to set up things and train our people also. We have started training all our staff and employees regarding COVID-19 regulations and what are the guidelines, basic precautionary measures we need to take.
Yes.
But when it comes to actual serving, we are still not clear about the table partitioning or how many number of people they are going to allow. Is it based on the existing capacity of the restaurant,
Okay.
or they are going to give a cap of just one blanket number,
All right,
not
yes.
not beyond this number.
So whether it's based on the size of the premises or based on the seating, the present
Exactly.
seating?
We are also not clear about the kind of utensils we need to use. See, the thing is, we have been using steel plates
Yes,
and
yes.
spoons till now, but the thing is, it is all sterilized. What we use is a commercial dishwasher, and we can sterilize and reuse the utensils.
Yes, yes.
That
All of that, I can see a lot of
Exactly,
steam.
these
A lot
utensils.
of steam, yes.
But in case if they are going to freeze on and tell that we have to use
Yes.
disposable
Yes.
plates and spoons, then we don't mind using that, because there are concerns among the crowd also for reusing spoons and plates, because people have apprehensions of how they clean
So
it
that they
inside.
may be more comfortable using something which is disposable.
Exactly. But there is a biggest drawback in using disposables also, because it's a huge added cost. And obviously it is, though they claim it is biodegradable, eco-friendly,
Yes.
but we don't have systems in place for the proper garbage management.
Absolutely. So it's more garbage in city which is already struggling with
Already
garbage,
struggling.
and cost, which again will be
And
passed
just
on.
imagine, in Bangalore alone we have around 20,000 restaurants, and of that, on an average, you take around 500 plates per restaurant. It would be almost 1 crore plates of garbage every day. Are we prepared to manage that?
It's a huge challenge, whereas the good old steel can be washed, can be sterilized if it's washed properly, and can be used again. So it
Exactly.
would, but if you do have to use disposable, what would be something?
We are keeping,
Yes.
as you see here, we are keeping the options ready. In
Okay.
fact, even for the tables, we are thinking of partitioning. Even
This
for this is a sugar cane based bagasse product.
Okay. So it is biodegradable.
It is 100% biodegradable, eco-friendly,
Yes.
but very expensive.
Okay.
See, then if the government is thinking of it, maybe they should also think of waiving off the GST on this,
Okay.
or subsidizing the production facility for this, so that the
Otherwise, the
cost
cost is passed on to the consumer.
exactly, it will obviously be passed on to the consumer, who are already tattered with the economy. People don't have disposable income. In the last 2-3 months, they have been cut short of their salaries, everything. Then how do they spend? Come out and spend.
So you will have to see the numbers that are permitted before you decide how many tables will be operational, the distance between the tables.
Exactly. We have only tried this setup
As of now.
as of now and only tested for a couple of tables.
Otherwise, tables would be full in this area.
We used to have a back-to-back tables. Obviously, it would no longer be like that.
It's not
Obviously,
for sure, yes.
even for the social distancing
Yeah.
of having 1 or 2 meters apart like this, then we are not sure how many people they are going to allow per table. I have just created a small setup here for a smaller table, bifurcating
Okay.
with the acrylic glass.
So there's actually a barrier in between.
Exactly.
Because many times in small places, many times traditionally, it's not as if it's one family group which is at a table. It may be complete strangers actually sitting on either side.
Obviously, in middle class restaurants like us, where people are used to sit along with strangers earlier, now a lot of people will be obviously having apprehensions because it is during that point of time when you are eating, you obviously need to remove your mask.
Yes.
And there are concerns sitting with strangers. So to just give away and give clarity to customer and rebuild their confidence, we have thought of this partitioning so that they can sit comfortably and eat it without any concerns.
Absolutely. I can see you've done it for a table which seats more people. This is actually a 4-seater table. This is a 4-seater table.
We have
Okay.
converted into a 4-seater one.
Yes.
And we have set up this, again we have different options for this, so that if a family, a
Yes.
husband and wife comes, and if they are not comfortable with a partition,
Yes.
I have just tried it out so that this partition can be removed for them.
So
Like
it's really flexible. The partition can actually be removed.
Exactly.
Yes.
This can be removed like this and made it as they can sit together.
So it's people
Here,
from the same
strangers can
household,
sit.
they can sit like this. But you have the barrier still in case there are people from another group over there. So it's really flexible. It can be individuals sitting separately.
Exactly.
Wow, okay, so this really is something new.
This is again not final. This is only tested and we are awaiting guidelines. Based on that, we can decide on this.
So you're awaiting those guidelines.
Exactly.
So these are the kind of modifications that have been made in this restaurant. 1943 it began. It never anticipated the COVID era, but everyone has to adapt to the times. They're waiting for guidelines. But whether it's disposable plates, whether it's steel plates which are actually going to be sterilized, the distance between the tables and partitions on the table itself, lots of changes need to be made.
Tell you one more point. We have worked out the cost. On an average, approximately, the cost would increase by 20% just for the disposable.
So you're definitely in favor of well-washed, reusable steel.
Because it is again good for the customer. When we are confident of giving a sterilized plates, so the cost comes down and the garbage management is not there.
So lots of questions really still remain when it comes to reopening restaurants on the 8th of June. So far it's just been parcel service, but restaurants like this iconic restaurant, Vidyarthi Bhavan, are scheduled to reopen on the 8th, but many questions still remain. In this era of COVID-19, what's it going to be like to eat out at a restaurant? With JM Kumar, Maya Sharma in Bengaluru for NDTV.